serving up a warm dish of the Triads culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 107 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of April 8th through the 14th, 2019. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name is Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town at the lab at Industry Hill. It is a repurposed building on North Chestnut Street in the old warehouse district of downtown Winston-Salem. In addition to us cool folk over here, Industry Hill itself hosts a lot of other cool things like restaurants, chocolatiers, breweries, entertainment complexes, stereo shops, bouldering facilities, and of course, the lab at Industry Hill.
Almost as cool as we are.
Almost.
All that stuff. Now, if you put it all together,
collectively, we're pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Unbeatable.
Indeed. Find out more by visiting industryhill.com or their Instagram or Facebook pages. Now, I don't have a whole lot of food news as comparison to last week when we had things that we had to deal with, but I do have a couple of things. Pan Asian, Japanese, and Sushi Bar has a sign in its window that says, "We are closed, 3/6/19."
Oh.
This is in the Pavilion Shopping Center next to Chuck E. Cheese. I never ate there, but I did eat there when it was Oriental Cafe. Oriental Cafe had good sushi, but something was just off about the atmosphere to me. But as I said, I've never eaten at Pan Asian. If you were a fan of that establishment, let us know why, or if you'll miss it or not. You know, just say, oh, that was where I like to go. That's where we always went, blah, blah, blah. Just whatever you have, let us know what you thought about it. Or if you didn't, have you ever heard of it?
Every restaurant has its fan base.
This is true. Well, I won't say every. Most every.
In my personal experience, I didn't say it had to be an expansive fan base, but there's at least a few people for every place. Even little sub shops that just don't seem to fit, and you wonder why they're even there. Somebody's going to be saying, "That's my favorite place. I love to eat there."
And that's exactly what they'd sound like saying it, too.
They might very well.
Yeah, I wish it was out here in the country so I can get to it better.
Yeah, then they could make deer meat subs for me. I like venison subs.
I probably would like that.
Actually, as I said that, maybe we stumbled on something.
I have to be honest. I didn't like venison growing up because I don't think my parents knew how to prepare it other than just burning the crap out of it.
That's not.
It was dead once. Let's kill it again. Is what they're.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, but I've had venison made in restaurants and on my honeymoon. Actually, the wedding dinner night dinner was venison carpaccio. So I was very excited about that.
Any ingredients in the hands of a professional.
Yeah. Speaking of which, though, I want to take a break here and say congratulations to you and Whitney
Thank you
for your 1 year anniversary this past Saturday.
We have survived a whole year. She's still putting up with me.
That's a big accomplishment.
It is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We were excited. And what did we do? We went and got sunburns.
I see you're still sporting it.
Yeah, still am. So I said to somebody this weekend, it's like, no, that's not my high blood pressure. That's a sunburn.
Yeah. And you're wearing a red shirt, so it just radiates even more.
Whitney is even worse. Her shoulders in particular.
Wow.
Yeah. Just the weight of a blouse on her shoulders hurts. She burned the crap out of herself. Wow. Next time we will ask, is this an outdoor event? And then we will bring things like sunscreen and a canopy and,
I have a 10x10 if you need to borrow it.
If we had thought, I would have gladly borrowed it. We'll be asking that question from this day forward.
All right. Good.
Lesson learned.
Well, again, if you were a fan of Pan Asian or if you had never heard of it, let us know one way or the other. Speaking of sushi, a conveyor belt sushi joint is opening on Stratford Road, south of Haynes Mall Boulevard, or as we longtime residents may call it, the part of Stratford where nothing has ever been. But it's growing. This area is, as are most parts of the town. Some people are poo-pooing on this, but I say bring it on.
Bring it on.
Big cities and foreign countries have this, and it's a hit.
Yeah.
So why can't we have?
Why not?
Winston-Salemites, stop poo-pooing on everything you don't understand.
We can have some cool stuff here.
We could if people would just shut up and let it happen.
And then go in and experience it.
Most of these folks who are saying this, though, probably don't even like sushi anyway.
Yeah, that may be. I'm trying to picture, where is this down on
Okay,
Stratford?
so
down where cities used to be?
not quite there. This is Burke Mill,
Yeah.
where Burke Mill ends there.
Yes.
They have those new apartments. I say new, those fairly new apartments.
Within the last few years.
Yeah, and they have started building up stuff around that.
Yes.
Piedmont Aviation Credit Union's there.
Guitar Center moved in down on that end.
Yeah, so there.
Okay.
In the new Burke Mill, what's it called? Hold on. Burke Mill Village.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's called Rockin' Rolls Sushi.
Okay.
And
Like the play on words.
yeah. So
Better
they
than
say
juicy seafood.
they
If you could have seen the look on his face.
so they will have, or at least they advertise to have 50 different kinds of sushi rolls with no MSG, no artificial coloring, and no chemical preservatives. And it's on a conveyor belt that rolls past your table.
And you just pick off the
Pick
ones
up
that
what
you want.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how it works. I don't know. I mean, I know how conveyor belts work and how picking them off, but I don't know how the pricing, how that happens.
It's
don't know
probably
if-
just you come in and, this is your pricing. You pay. I wouldn't say it'd be just do one price.
It probably would be like another restaurant we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
Yes.
Um,
Tying back into the anniversary.
yes. Well, sushi is my favorite food, and I'm always looking for good sushi. Sometimes this town has it, and sometimes it doesn't. It goes up and down. I want something that's consistent. I had a place that was consistent, and they are less consistent. I'm not going to mention any names for once. But
This time.
I will probably go try this. I'm sure it'll be a little bit pricey, but I don't know anything definitive. I don't know anything else besides what I said. I go to the website and it says page under construction.
Oh, well.
So
So is the sushi.
yeah, obviously, constantly. That's how sushi works.
Yeah, we'll have to check this place out.
Yeah, I would definitely. Do you like sushi?
I love sushi.
Okay, good.
I didn't for the longest time.
Oh, I didn't either. I wouldn't even think about touching
Raw.
that. Raw. No, I'm not doing that. Now I look for everything raw.
Well, I had a friend that forced me, took me. I was like, "You're going to eat this." I'm like, it's raw. He said, "All right, millions of people eat this every day, and they don't die."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
once I tasted it, I kicked myself. I was like, "Why have I been missing out on this? This is so good."
Yeah, I have a friend who will not eat anything unless it's, again, been killed a second time. And he just won't try it. But then again, he's a super taster and nothing tastes good to him. He eats because he has to. He enjoys what he eats, but he enjoys it if it's the consistency of shoe leather and, like chewing charcoal.
No thanks.
I don't get that. But yeah, sushi for me, it was someone said, "Come on, try it." And I wanted to try it. I was just afraid to try it.
Mm-hmm.
But once I had it, and I'll be honest, I didn't like it the first day. But I found myself 2 days later going, I wish I had more of that. And I was very conservative in my first day, a California roll, which is not truly sushi.
No,
that's BS California crap because people don't know how to eat right. Not saying about California, but whenever they make something California roll, it's all vegetables and shrimp, and that's not
I like
sushi.
shrimp.
I like shrimp, but that's not sushi.
No, not really.
No. And sushi itself, the word means the type of rice that you use and the rolling technique. It has nothing to do with raw fish. That's sashimi.
Okay.
Raw fish is sashimi. And then there's the gnocchi and the mori and stuff like that. But
So it's really just its preparation, not that it's raw.
Right. Yeah.
But it's come to be synonymous in this country as also being raw.
It's the same concept as classical music.
Mm.
Classical music truly is, because there's the Baroque period, there's the Romantic period, and then there's the classical period, and everything. Bach is put in the same thing with Mozart and Beethoven and Chopin, and that's three. There's right there span three different eras in classical music. So, yeah, sushi can be the little rolls that have the fish on top. It could be rolls that the fish is on the inside and the outside.
Mm-hmm.
It could be sashimi by itself, just pieces of fish. But it's sushi. So,
At least it gives you some idea.
yeah. The thing you need to know about sushi is it's delicious and it's edible art.
Yes, when it's done right, the right restaurants. Of course, we did go to a place this weekend that it was on the buffet. Yeah, that really wasn't sushi.
Yeah. No. And I do not count quote unquote sushi at like Chinese buffets sushi.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm sorry to admit it. we went to Chinese buffet, but Whitney really wanted Oriental.
Well, then that's fine. I'm just saying I don't call that sushi. I call that buffet rolls.
It was a buffet roll.
Yeah.
And it was still tasty, but it's not like what we hope this new restaurant will be.
Yes. Fresh.
Fresh. I like that sound. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Fresh. Yeah.
I was really surprised the first time I had tuna raw.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. Oh, I really like. Give me another one of those. Give me a little of that wasabi and soy sauce.
I love spicy tuna and spicy salmon.
Yeah. I didn't think I would, but when I tried them, I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
great.
And it's too fishy. It's the texture. Stop making excuses.
Just taste it.
Just taste it. I don't want it because it's just
Ooh, and the
taste it.
smoked eel. I know that's not sushi,
Well,
but I've had it in the sushi style
see,
restaurants.
I'm not against tempura stuff and cooked things. It's not the raw. It's how it's prepared with everything else and how it goes. I eat stuff that's got tempura in it. I love a lobster roll, and that's not lobster, but it's got shrimp and tempura and all kinds of stuff in it. Again, I'm not opposed to that. I actually like stuff like that. It's just it needs to be fresh made and not, been sitting out for a while. It needs to be I ordered it and it came to me, not I'm going to go to a buffet and they look at this. They have rolls sitting out
I'll
waiting
take
on
one
me.
of those.
Yeah, it's orange. I'll take it. Which row is good,
Yes.
but I digress. So you went someplace this week for your anniversary.
We did. We went over to Cowboy Brazilian Steakhouse.
Yeah.
We've known Joel for a while, and seemed like a great place to celebrate that first year. Big weekend for us, so we had a magnificent experience. I'm trying to think when it was. It was back last winter. He was doing a TV commercial and had posted on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for some folks that can come down here and play the role of patrons. So Whitney and I jumped on it and said, yeah, we'd love to do it. So we did, and even last week we had folks coming up to us going, hey, I saw you on the Cowboy commercial. And I'm like, that's great. Did you go?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been?
You really
Did it
should
work?
go. You should try it. But this was not our first time there. Your first time, it's so overwhelming. All the different choices of meat that they're going to bring out. So we tried some of everything the first time. I think I literally tried 13 different types of meat in one meal. Of course, don't put it all in your plate at one time. Spread it out.
Don't be afraid to turn that coin to red.
Yes.
And give yourself a moment to breathe between items.
And we did. We had gotten the good advice, if that's the way you do it. Don't come to eat everything in 20 minutes and then split. Take an hour and a half. Take 2 hours. They're fine with that. They want you to take your time and really enjoy it.
Because look at it this way. You're paying for 2 hours worth of meal.
You are.
because it's not exactly cheap. I
No.
mean, it's not horrendously expensive. It's not as expensive as some Brazilian steakhouses in Charlotte that charge almost $100 a plate.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's
But-
$37 a person,
yeah, and
but you get so much.
it's all you can keep down for $37 a person.
Yeah. When we
But if you're
walked
going
out,
to do that, if that's an experiment you're going to try, take your time.
we walked out and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so much heavier than I was when I went in.
Get in the car and your shocks creak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cars going, no, get out, walk. But we really, they would bring something out, and because we'd already tried it, we already knew some of the cuts that we really wanted to go back to. The fillets in particular are so good.
Yeah.
They're just spot on every time. So we're like, yeah, bring some of those over. And ooh, you've got some of the sirloin. I definitely want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And then picking up some of the sides, I recognize that it's all about the meat. But some of those sides, the balsamic mushrooms in particular, with the filet, oh man, it was a great casserole bite. Even down to the desserts. Whitney got the creme brulee, and she hadn't finished she took all the topping off, of course, the crunchy part.
Which
And-
is the brulee part.
Exactly. And Joel said, well, do you want me to box up what was left? And she's like, well, I did eat all the brulee part. He's like, that's fine. We'll fill it back in and then torch it again. So he did. We opened up our take home, and basically he'd given us another dessert.
Yeah.
But the whole staff, everybody is so friendly and pleasant. The entire experience was just top drawer.
The 2 or 3 times that I've been there, it has been a fantastic experience. I have really enjoyed it.
And to think, I at first I thought this was some sort of chain that was coming to Winston-Salem, and it's not. This is a locally owned business. It's not a chain. Now, granted, they have a second location.
Yeah. But having multiple locations does not constitute a chain.
No, it does
To me,
not.
I don't even like to think of East Coast Wings as a chain, and they have 30 now locations
Right.
or something. There's a difference.
That's approaching chain level. I just
Well,
gotta say,
Well, that many maybe, but I'm just saying because it started here locally as
Right.
a standalone restaurant, as I'm sure all of them did. But they're not. There's a certain flavor aspect you get from a chain that is because it's all coming from a truck
been
that's somewhere else. Yeah, it's been processed. It's because the purpose there is they want it all to taste the same no matter where you are.
right.
So
Taking
it-
that kind of McDonald's approach to
Yeah.
everything,
Which
which is fine for what it is. But
Yeah.
I personally, I want to be able to taste the food that's grown in this area, so we know what the local flavor is.
Yeah.
And I think Cowboy does a good job of riding that line between trying to do this as authentic to the Brazilian steakhouse style, but also making it a local experience.
You know who would be a good guest on this show?
Joel,
Joel.
we actually had that conversation. We need to get him on the calendar. I'd love to have him in here. I mean, he's such a positive guy anyway. Just really think the world of him. And he's done a really good job with the staff there, kind of creating a family atmosphere. Yeah, it's definitely a big team.
And it doesn't look like, what was it called before?
Oh, gosh, now you're going to throw that one
Yeah.
at me. Was that the Chop? That wasn't the Chop House.
Well, Chop House originally, that's what, when the building was built, it was.
Right.
And then there was something else that came in. I want to say Firebirds, but that's a different thing.
No, that's over off Haynes Mall
Yeah.
Boulevard.
It was,
I can't remember either,
I
which
can't
is a
either.
testament, Joel, that's a testament to what you've done.
well, yeah. I mean, those other places were very forgettable. The thing was, the second place was, only thing they did was just change the name.
Yeah.
They didn't, there was still dust on the fake plants. The disgusting rusting brass 1980s style, even though this building was built in early 2000 or late 90s. It was just disgusting, but it's a beautiful location now.
I love what they've done. They really brightened up the entire space, and at the same time keep a really nice ambiance in there. It's not super bright, it's not like walking into a Walmart somewhere.
Yeah.
But the way they brightened up just the decor and painted some of the dark paneling to something more modern and more appropriate.
Then you can use a little bit of light to radiate a lot of ambience instead of
Yes.
dark stuff where you have to keep everything very light or very dark. And I do not like eating in a restaurant where I feel like I need to be a cat to see what's going on. So
I got my night vision goggles on. I
yeah.
can spot the steak. Wait, where did the asparagus go? It's right here somewhere.
make sure that asparagus stays far away from me.
Asparagus, right?
Asparagus, exactly.
Yeah, great place. If you haven't been to Cowboy, seriously, go. Have a great time. Now, I really think Joel gave us the best advice possible the first time we went. We followed it this time as well. Have a late breakfast. Don't eat lunch. Come hungry. It's a great advice because you're really going to want to take your time. We literally ate for an hour and a half. And we said that to each other. Did we really just... We've been eating for an hour and a half, but just a little bit at a time, and then having a part of our drink and just talking, and then having a little bit more. What a great way to celebrate for us our first anniversary, but what a great place to go just in general.
Absolutely. So, Joel, if you're listening, we want you on the schedule.
We're going to get him in here. We'll get him on the calendar. I'd love to have him so folks can get a chance to know him too.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to throw this out.
Okay.
This is this little soapbox of mine.
Okay.
We went. It's a nicer restaurant. It's $37 a person, so we know we're going to end up likely spending over $100 for dinner.
Yeah.
So we dressed nicely. I didn't wear my blue jeans and dressed up a little bit. Whitney dressed up a little bit. Of course, it was an anniversary, so we kind of wanted to be in a dressier mode. All sorts of kids this weekend that were downtown for prom. Mm-hmm. So, we had several prom couples that were there in their full regalia, including one guy with the cowboy boots and hat with his tux.
Nice.
It's like, that's pretty cool. And then there's the people that are there just in their old ripped up blue jeans and t-shirts. And I'm like, dudes, you're at a nice restaurant. What? Could you dig just a little deeper into the wardrobe and put something on nice? Now, I recognize that I'm saying this to the guy who only wears shorts.
Right. But my shorts are not, they're like cargo shorts so that can go with a khaki shirt or a polo shirt or a nice shirt. I mean, I don't wear the stuff that, you go out and do your yard work in.
Exactly. Some of the people that come to that restaurant, it came like they just finished doing something physical. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man, respect the place. If you're going to a nice restaurant, dress the part.
You wouldn't wear that stuff to Catherine, would you?
No.
Why
would you?
No. So
just because the menu style is an all-you-can-eat does not mean that we're at a feeding trough. It's a nice restaurant. It's worthy. Yeah. And I would say that for any of the restaurants here in town that are serving in a much nicer environment, a place like a Jeffrey Adams or a Butcher and Bull that we'll be talking about. Mm-hmm. These are the kind of places where, okay, maybe it's not suit and tie, but come on now. Look the part. Dress a little nicer.
Yeah.
That's my little soapbox. I recognize it's my little soapbox, and it's my little issue.
Well, and in playing devil's advocate, and I agree with you, but playing devil's advocate, it's really, what's the word I'm looking for?
Couldn't answer that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure that I want to get in there. and go
No
digging
one wants
around.
in here. This is like a circus,
Dig in there and find that word.
an upside down circus. Interpretation of what nicer dress is. To Tex with his cowboy hat and cowboy boots with his tux, if he wasn't in the tux, what would he have on?
Probably blue jeans and a t-shirt.
Okay.
I mean, these were not like $500 boots.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they almost. I mean, they're not work boots like you think of as you go to the store and you say, "I'm looking for work boots."
Yeah.
But these were boots that he probably had worked in.
Or maybe shown cattle or
Yes.
worked as a ranch hand or something. And there are people around here that do that. We have farms all the way around us.
We do, and we've got a lot for the equine societies, or there's nothing wrong with that. There's a tremendous tradition and history around it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
If he hadn't been in the tux, the boots would have been inappropriate.
Well,
I
but it
would
is
have thought
cowboy.
It is cowboy Brazil steakhouse. Yeah, you kind of you're there. Yeah,
But my point is, I agree that if you're going to an upper scale restaurant, wear upper scale attire.
yeah,
Although, when I go to Willow's, which is an upper scale bistro,
yes,
I wear my Man Who Hates a Town t-shirt and shorts a lot of times.
yeah.
But
That's bistro style.
right. And right now, this is the only thing I have that has my branding on it. So I'd
Yeah.
probably wear this even to the Catherine, but I would make sure I was in at least nice shorts if I was going to wear those. Again, take a little responsibility, I think, what you're saying, for your style and appearance, not just going in with your Umbros and workout pants,
Yeah,
yoga pants and sports bras probably would not be the proper attire for.
yeah. Not the best way to go.
Yeah. So
that's
now-
just me. Like I
now
said, it's
we
my
can-
little soapbox.
I was standing on that soapbox with you for a bit, so we were like holding hands and stuff.
It's
So-
kind of crowded up here.
It is. So won't you
you
put
need
it back
to back
over
up.
there while I prepare us for our guest?
Would love to talk to our guest.
Let's do it. All right, it's time now for our Getting in Your Business section.
Yep.
We have with us the executive chef of the brand new Butcher and Bull restaurant, which used to be Gray's, which I'll be honest, I never liked that because it made me feel like I was chewing cud with a bunch of cows out in the, I felt like cattle. Before that, it was Winston or WS Prime, and then a couple other things. So we now, all that's in the past, all that's gone. We now have, you were there though, right, for some of those?
Yeah, I've actually been there for all three. I came in the tail end of WS Prime.
After Christian Froelich, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
After Christian, then we did Gray's. But Butcher and Bull's really the first one that I was completely involved in, down to concept, execution, renovation, and all that. So
Okay. Well, to tell people who you are, we have executive chef Richard Miller of Butcher and Bull. So,
Yeah, we really should let him, let people know.
yeah,
That- That's the other voice this time.
yeah. So tell us about Butcher and Bull.
So it's a contemporary modern take on your traditional steakhouse. Obviously, we're beef heavy. We've got
And that's a good thing.
absolutely
Yeah.
never a bad thing. But we also have, well-developed entrees, your classic sides, your classic salads, obviously kind of modernized a little bit. Very sleek, contemporary, but also relaxed atmosphere. Real bright colors, lots of grays, 3 really unique PDRs. So really we've got a little bit for everybody, but our main focus is on, the butcher and the bull part. We're a steakhouse.
What is PDR?
Private dining room.
Okay.
I was using restaurant.
No,
slang.
you're fine. I was wanting the listeners to know.
I'm sitting here going, wait up, I know PBR,
Yeah.
but
You don't have that, do you? Do you have PBRs over there?
No.
yay. Okay,
No.
so we can
No
actually
PBRs.
recommend you then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. PBR or pool tables. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, not this time.
Not this time.
Not this place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I knew what it was. I just wanted, for the listeners who might not know the terminology. But, so you said that the interior is completely changed from, it's unrecognizable compared to what Gray's was.
Absolutely. People that came into Gray's or even came into WS Prime, they would honestly forget that they were in the hotel or forget that Gray's even was there. The design team, architects, they did a fantastic job with colors, layout. It actually makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel for the first time since WS Prime, this place actually has an identity,
Sure.
which I feel was lacking with Gray's. Gray's was just a lot of confusion.
Yeah, well, I know the idea was to have people come in to spend a lot of time, share some stuff,
Yeah.
just heavy appetizers, your large appetizers, where you get people just want to sit around, have a beverage or nine, and
Just keep grazing.
You just keep grazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the concept, but the name always made me feel like I was a piece of cattle or something.
Yeah.
But
This
I'm
time,
glad
the
to hear
cattle's
this.
on the plate.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
absolutely is on the plate. You knock its horns off, wipe its butt, and throw it on the plate. That's how
Absolutely. That's
Um,
me as well.
I like it. So you are now officially open.
We are
right?
officially open since Wednesday. So we had our friends and family last Monday. Kind of gave the service staff a little feel of how we're going to run stuff. Gave my guys in the kitchen, this is probably the strongest team I've ever had back there. We're literally ready to take over the world. Kind of gave them a little taste of the business. We did a soft opening Tuesday.
Okay.
Pretty successful in my books. And then we officially opened Wednesday, right before
Furniture market. Yeah.
Of
So-
course.
So
Gotta be ready for that.
So did you get slammed with that?
Yeah, we've been slammed ever since.
Good.
So
I mean, that's a good thing.
We worked out a lot of kinks on Friday night, but
Yeah.
super successful.
Yeah.
Down to service, the way my guys executed food, I couldn't be more proud of both front of house and back house. So
Do you want to give them a shout out?
yeah, everybody at Butcher and Bull, great job.
Good. I'm glad to hear this because I think that location is a wonderful location.
Mm-hmm.
It is smack dab in the middle of downtown.
Yeah, it doesn't get just any more central than that.
No, I mean that's the Twin City Quarter.
Yeah.
That across the street, the Embassy Suites, the Convention Center,
Yeah.
Small Batch, all that right there is Twin City Quarter.
Well, and that's where most folks that are coming to Winston for the first time are introduced to the city.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you're part of that central identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're lucky to be, we're in the largest hotel in Winston-Salem or downtown Winston. So,
Yeah.
we're smack dab in the heart of Winston. So,
Chances are that people are going to stay at your place
absolutely.
if they're coming to stay. I mean,
Absolutely.
because of so many rooms availability, and if not, they'll be across the street, which is owned by the same
Yeah.
hotel company, so they can just walk across the walkway.
Don't even have to go outside.
Yeah. You never even have to leave the building.
No.
So tell us. I mean, I know you said it's just a contemporary modern steakhouse, but tell us a little more about that. So let's talk about, because you can tell by looking at me, I'm a fan of dead animals on a plate,
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
so what can we expect if we go to Butcher and Bull?
As far as food, I'm, certified Angus beef. I've got a bison that's outstanding. I've got a bison carpaccio, which
nice.
if you like rare or raw beef, is outstanding. But then again, I've got octopus,
Okay.
which I don't really see on too many menus.
Not often, no.
Downtown, and over the past 4 days, we've been selling them like French fries.
Wow.
Everybody's ordering it. Great feedback. I'm trying to use as much local ingredients as possible. Am I farm to table? No, but I do like to support local farms. So I'm using Harmony for pork, or I'm sorry, Heritage for pork. I'm using Harmony Ridge. I'm getting some beets from them, radish, their chorizo, a lot of their sausages. Fair Share,
M&L, they're
Joyce, and then I plan on having like a local beef feature a week.
Yeah.
So that stuff's kind of in the works. The way we're just treating this restaurant, we're treating it like our own removed from the hotel.
Yeah.
So
How much say does the hotel have in it? Generally.
A lot.
Well,
but
it does represent them.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're supporting us in our ventures to run it as an independent restaurant.
Okay.
Down to staffing, management. But yes, at the end of the day, it's at a hotel.
Yeah. So do you handle the food service for the hotel as well? Or is
Yes.
it, okay.
Yes.
So all the room service and everything comes
But
from
it's
you.
so camouflaged in with everything else, you would never even know.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah. That's kind of like Providence.
Yeah, exactly.
They are the food service for the entire hotel, but it's not like you're eating at Providence. No,
Yeah.
you're eating room service, but
Right.
it's coming from a great
kitchen.
place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, is that staff separate for that? Is there, these folks are working on the restaurant side, these folks are doing room service side, or is it just
It's the same.
the order
staff.
that shows up is the next one that gets
Food
taken
service
care of?
is food service.
Yep,
yeah.
food service. It's all coming from the same line.
So-
They're busy all the time.
So the hotel then has that advantage of having the Butcher and Bull menu
Absolutely.
available for folks in the room.
Well, we've got separate menus. So Butcher and Bull is that menu. That concept is unique to Butcher and Bull.
You got to come downstairs for that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want Butcher and Bull, you have to eat in the restaurant. Kind of like you would just go down on 4th Street, go into one of those
Exactly.
restaurants. If you're staying at the hotel, absolutely want you to come downstairs, eat a Butcher and Bull. But if you want to eat in your room, that's a whole separate kind of Marriott
Yeah.
type menu.
Okay.
You were saying that you were involved from the beginning of this. What was some of your initial thoughts about where you wanted to try to go with this? How are your fingerprints on it?
My initial thought was competing with everything that's going on downtown right now. I've lived in Winston my whole life, and what Winston-Salem is doing as a downtown is absolutely incredible. So we knew we had to compete with that, do something that was hip, current, and really manage it as its own entity, in order to be successful.
Well, it sounds like you're not just competing, but trying to figure out how do you create your own unique identity
Absolutely.
and contribute.
To stand apart and also be a part of the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because that's a balance you have to pull off, because you want to fit in, but you also want to stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I've been here over 30 years myself, and I don't know that our downtown has ever been stronger than it is right
It
now.
had. I love it.
I'm just so amazed, and I look at other cities in the area. They tried to revitalize and did a decent job of it, but I don't know that anybody's done it as well as what we've seen here in town.
Well, we continue to improve. That's the
Yeah.
thing. We never really cap off. It just
Yeah.
keeps on getting better and better and better.
Exactly.
So,
We're finishing up working on the innovation quarter. There's not that much left, and then we find out that the church is coming on sale, and it's like, all right, what's that going to do
Yeah.
for that part of the innovation quarter? It's like, yeah, you're right. We hadn't even capped out at all.
Yeah.
We've still got so much room to do.
so that was kind of our main focus with the restaurant. How to keep up with Winston, how
Yeah.
to provide an awesome product, awesome concept, to not only serve the guests in the hotel, but capture a lot of locals.
right. Right, because the locals are still the ones that keep coming back.
Absolutely.
And they're the ones who will be recommending the non-hotel guests.
Absolutely.
Or even
Yes.
people they know are going to stay there. Say, if you're staying at Marriott, you've got to go down. Don't think of it as a hotel restaurant, because I've stayed places all over the world, and when I say all over the world, a lot of parts of the world.
Yeah.
And the hotels, you get a stigma that this is a hotel restaurant, which usually, no, I won't say usually, a lot of times means crap.
Yeah.
And this is not, obviously. I mean, I know your work, so you're putting your work behind it.
Yeah.
Not saying that Gray's was anything wrong with that. I just hated the name.
Oh yeah.
But
No, I agree
Gray's
with you.
Gray's food was good. I enjoyed that. But I know your work, and I can't wait to go and actually try a meal at
Absolutely.
Butcher and Bull.
Absolutely. And we've got our own entrance. It's completely different than the hotel's entrance. So, free valet.
Oh yeah, you
In a
can't.
downtown environment, you can't beat that.
That's true. That's true.
That's
A
very
little
handy.
tipping
Yeah.
recommended, but you don't. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially once they give you back your keys and you just get it and go. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. You tip your people. I used to be in travel, so tip your people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you for a second. You are the 2015
Yes.
competition dining champ.
Yes.
And do you remember how many chefs were in that competition?
Not off the top of my head. I think there was maybe 12, something around that.
And that was just for this area, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That competition is no longer happening. I mean, it stopped in 2016, but that's big accolades because I mean that's basically like we talked about in the pregame. This was chopped on a grander scale because instead of cooking for 3 judges, you were given a mystery basket and other ingredients, and you had to do it for 180 people.
Yeah. Yeah. It was quite the feat.
Yeah,
That really changes the whole dynamic.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not what little something can I throw on a plate. All right, I got something.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I got to reproduce this over and over and over and over.
179 more times.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That changes all the recipes, everything.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, that was a great time in my career. My sous chef at the time, Tim Gallione, who has actually come back to open up Butcher and Bull with me.
Mm-hmm.
So he is back there. Probably. I mean, I could not have done any of this without him. So he's definitely vital to this as well.
So what you can say is this is an award-winning team that you have in the kitchen. That you're going to eat award-winning food.
Yeah, that's the plan. I've told the guys in the kitchen. I said I'm looking to get into every competition, every event. I said it's time again.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's fun. It's sometimes people don't take it as serious. Not saying you don't, but sometimes people don't. But there's also that's the way that you get your name out
Absolutely.
there. And the thing is Butcher and Bull's one thing, but Richard Miller from Butcher and Bull is another.
Yeah.
And you have now a name in this town. It's like the same thing. Somebody says Travis Myers,
Yeah.
or someone says Tim Grandinetti, or Chef Bacon, or you have your name and your identity, and people look for your stuff as well. They should. Speaking of that, though, what is your history? What's your background in food?
I grew up surrounded by food. My grandmother, great aunt, mom always cooked huge, enormous meals. So I grew up loving food. Originally, I wanted to be a doctor.
Well, you kind of are.
Yeah, in a way.
You perform surgery on food.
Yeah, absolutely. Moved to Asheville to start culinary school. Loved it. Worked in a couple little small restaurants here and there. Came to Marriott in 2011. I just needed a job right then. Something happened with the last restaurant I was at. Started there as a cook, and the rest is history. Progressed through the ranks. Took sous chef, I think, in like 3 months.
Like took it. I mean, I'm taking your position now.
Yeah.
I am sous chef, king of the world.
Only second to him.
Oh, and then,
But I'll have his job in 3 more minutes.
the rest is history, they say. So that company's been very good to me, very good to my career.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So other than carcass on a plate, which some people might think is disgusting, but it's my favorite thing. What do you like to cook the most?
At work or
At all. It can be at work, but at all. If you're cooking for your family, what do you cook?
Oh, I have 2 small daughters, so it could be steak one day or hot dogs the next. I've got a smoker at home, so I love smoking meats. I like comfort food. Nothing fancy when I'm not at work.
Yeah.
Love pasta. Love deep southern food. Collard greens, cornbread, country ham, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all the healthy stuff.
All that stuff that'll just, get you a good appointment with your doctor.
Yeah, tons of lard, butter.
Yeah.
It's
I've
got to
been there.
taste right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been there, done that.
Are your kids growing up with that same passion for food that you have?
As far as them wanting to go the chef route, I don't think so. One's a pretty picky eater, but then the other one will try just about anything. So, both have different palates at this point. So,
Are they still pretty young?
yeah. So
So what kind of advice would you give to a young person wanting to get into this business? I say that because my 16-year-old son is at the culinary program at the Career Center.
Oh, awesome.
And is wanting to go to culinary school.
Okay.
He is last Sunday he participated in Chef Terrell's and Ashley Hardesty's a table experience at Willow's.
Oh, awesome.
And Terrell loves my son, and Travis does too, so they take him in there, and they were very impressed with what he was doing. Lily called, and now he got a job at Silo and finished his first week at Silo under Nikki Farrington.
Cool.
So what advice would you give to the young folk who think that that's what they want to do?
Pretty much exactly what you said. Get into a restaurant, whatever it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Fast food, fast casual, fine dining, just, as young as you can work, just get into a restaurant. Learn the basics, and work hard. It's not an easy job. Hard work pays off though. You rise through the ranks. It's just about hard work and passion. You got to have the passion for it.
Oh yeah. How he got into this whole thing, we would spend some time Sundays and Thursdays are the two nights that I have him during the week, and I won't say recently, I've always liked cooking. I just had this anxiety about doing it because I was afraid I was going to mess something up, and the ingredients aren't cheap.
No.
But I got more confident in myself, and he was helping me, and I was sitting there teaching him some stuff. Not that I'm trained by any means, but I do watch a lot of videos, and I know that's not the best way of training, but it's better than no training. I still have all my fingers.
Yeah.
But he just got into it with me, and now I stand back and say, what do you need me to do? And he tells me, because like I said, it was his own initiative. He went to his guidance counselor and said, I want to be in the culinary program at Career Center. What do I need to do? And anything that he was willing to put behind his self behind with initiative, I was all for, especially when, I am the man who ate the town, and I love restaurants and I love food, and him telling me that he wanted to do stuff like that was a big deal.
Absolutely.
And then just Chef Travis and I are really good friends, and he says, let me talk to him a minute, and just got him more pumped up. And Terrell has him come back when they're not officially open.
Yeah.
And they're just doing events, and has him do stuff, and they say he's very attentive, and
Awesome.
Because he has some training at 16, it's like, okay.
Yeah,
and they don't have to tell him 3 times.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And then he comes, and here's it is.
Cool.
But yeah, that's cool. I think when you can determine at a young age that this is what you at least think you want to do, and I hope he stays with it.
Yeah, it's a great profession.
Yeah.
Great profession.
Sounds like that's been your course for a long time now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It takes a while.
Where do you see yourself going from here?
I love the restaurant, but the hotel industry in itself is a pretty exciting industry to be in. 5 years ago, I'd have told you, no, I don't want to work in a hotel. I want to open up my own place or go work in a standalone.
But then you got a taste of it.
Yeah, and then you start learning the business aspect of the hotel industry, and all that. So I'm probably gonna stay within the hotel industry. Am I gonna be at this location for the rest of my career? No.
Yeah.
But will I stay with HVMG? Possibly, yeah. They've been very good to me. Supported us 100%. So
Can you see taking the same concept to other cities
absolutely,
then?
yeah, absolutely.
Who came up with the name?
It was a combination of HVMG, their corporate director of food and beverage at the time, and Colby Huffman, who's the Butcher and Bull general manager, and myself. So we kind of collaborated and ran some ideas off each other.
Alliteration is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Butcher and Bull.
Yeah.
Butcher and Bull.
Well, and you get kind of both sides of the coin there. You don't have a butcher without the bull.
Exactly, and that was kind of the thought process.
Yeah.
You can't have one and not the other. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken and egg.
Yeah,
They do go together.
absolutely.
What else would you want our listeners to know about Butcher and Bull, or about Chef Richard Miller?
come and try it. Come in and eat. Be on the lookout. We're doing monthly themed events, cider, some bourbon tastings.
Bourbon.
Yeah, who doesn't love bourbon?
No, nobody we know.
Yeah.
Or we just don't talk to them.
Yeah. We stopped knowing them.
Themed events like that. We'll do it in our wine cellar. We've got a working wine cellar. Seat 16.
Okay.
Join it for Easter this year in 2 weeks.
Nice.
We're not going to do the traditional buffet. It'll be a la carte Easter menu, so something new for us. Just come on in.
And the address one more time?
425 North Cherry Street.
All right. Is there a dedicated website, or do they go to the Marriott?
No, we've got our own website, butcherandbull.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard,
All great places.
thank you. Ray, you have any more questions?
No, I think we're good. This is great. Thanks for coming
Awesome.
in.
Thanks for having me.
Richard, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you again to Chef Richard Miller of Butcher and Bull.
Thank you.
Definitely go check them out. And
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I didn't know how I'd feel, but hearing him talk about it and the passion about it,
Yeah.
I'm all for it now.
Yeah, that really changes the equation for me as well. I'm very excited to go see what they're doing.
I just want to go see the decor change.
Yeah.
So-
I'm after months of renovation down there, it'll be nice to see what they've accomplished.
Yeah. And it's good that a restaurant is back open.
Yes. Something that will be adding to what we're doing in Winston-Salem. I love that.
I hope it is more of an attraction than Gray's was.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
the
with you on
name
that.
Gray's kind of turned people off. I know it did me. Yeah.
Just going to Grays.
Yeah. I felt like I was chewing cud.
Yeah, Butcher and Bull. I mean, it's, just got a strong name,
Yeah.
strong identity to it.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah. Maybe we'll have something other than Yamas to say to each other each week.
Speaking of Yamas,
We did, didn't we?
yeah, we did. I didn't get to go this past week, but I know.
I did.
I was out of town for the last half, We like to go on Fridays now, Stephanie and I, and we had to alter our schedule because we were in Raleigh Saturday for the Kiss concert.
Yeah.
Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. I knew you were going to have a good time.
Yeah. I've seen Kiss 11 times now, and that's top 5.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
And for them to be all geriatric and everything,
Yeah,
and you're still
Gene,
saying that.
Gene is 69, Paul is 67, and they were still
jamming.
Paul was a little squeaky and struggled a little bit, but he got through it, and we were okay with it.
Well, at that point, you kind of, it's life. It's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which is, again, why that's the end of the road. It's about time they stop. Now, they will do stuff on their own, but as a band,
sure.
Kiss, so he can dictate what he does differently with his voice than have to do it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he did do Phantom of the Opera. Paul did. In Toronto
Wow. I didn't know that.
for like 6 months. Yeah.
That's an intensive run.
Yeah, it was.
But I can tell you, to go back to our other conversation, I ate at Yamas twice last week. Yamas. Love them. They do such a good job.
And it's so damn
now,
good.
now they recognize us when we come in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Yamas!
It's not just Yamas. Oh, yeah.
Yamas! They have not yet started saying, so you want the usual, because I keep changing it up every time.
I don't necessarily change it up, but they do ask, "What are you doing this time?"
Yeah.
And they look at me like, "Is it any different?" And Stephanie gets the same thing every time. So,
I
She
keep
says,
changing
I
it
just-
up a little bit.
and my thing is about that is I'm afraid not to get what I already know that I like, not because I'm afraid of trying anything else. I don't want to be disappointed in myself because I really wanted that. I really wanted that bowl.
I really liked it the last time, and I was tasting it. It's like
Yeah.
you said, that's, a couple days later, you're like, I really want some more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We love Yamas.
Yamas.
Yamas!
Let's talk some food holidays.
Let's.
Today is the 8th of April. It's National Empanada Day.
Okay.
I like empanadas.
What defines an empanada?
It's basically a Spanish turnover.
Okay. I'm remembering they had some of those at the Humblebee.
Okay. And then they also,
They have had those at the Humblebee. Let me say it that way.
yeah. Where did I have one last?
I can't answer that. Don't ask me such hard questions.
Oh, Quiet Pint.
Quiet Pint. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was braised flank, and they
Ooh.
actually had like the carrots and stuff were all pureed and mixed in with the flank. So it was
Nice.
like, it was.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, we may have to make a detour.
On
All right,
on
Dave, we're coming.
on the 8th in 1873, Alfred Paraf, Paraf, received a patent for the first commercially viable margarine manufacturing process.
Huh. It goes back that far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you take a tub of margarine and you leave it in your trunk for a year,
You can pull it out and eat your biscuit with it.
yeah. Makes me wonder. Makes me wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, if even bacteria is not finding anything viable in there,
Bacteria's going, nah.
nah, we'll pass. Bring me something with real nutritional value. Give me some butter. See, I'd rather just have butter. I'm a big fan of
I
butter.
like butter, yeah.
Butter's better.
Butter is better. It's better butter.
Better butter.
In 1879, the Echo Farms Dairy of New York began selling milk in a glass bottle, the first in the United States.
Wow.
The 9th is National Chinese Almond Cookie Day.
Now, there is a cookie that does not deserve a holiday. I'm sorry, but have you ever had a Chinese almond cookie that was amazing?
I don't know that I've ever had a Chinese almond cookie.
It's what you get at the buffets, the Chinese buffets. That's where I've had it.
Is it right next to the buffet sushi?
Yes.
That may be why.
Or
I
next
didn't
to
know.
the ice cream machine. But yeah, they're very plain. Very plain. There's just nothing about them that's special. They have sugar and crunch, and that's about it.
All right. Well, on the 9th in 1872, Samuel R. Percy of New York received a patent for dried milk.
Okay. I'd still like my milk liquid. But
Yeah.
okay, if you
I
need
like
it
my
dry.
my milk wet. Thanks.
Thanks. Well, okay, yeah, we'll put that over there with the Chinese almond cookie.
You can dip it in the dried milk.
Yeah.
Milk and dried cookie or dried milk and cookies. Pierre Gagnère was born in 1950 on the 9th. French chef, cookbook author, and restaurateur, considered one of the founders of both fusion cuisine and molecular cuisine.
Oh, that really funky stuff that they do.
Yes. Also, this is completely unrelated to food at all, other than me. On the 9th in 1994 was my first marriage.
Oh, well.
So 25 years ago.
You got married the first time.
I did. Yeah.
It didn't stick.
It stuck for 16 years, but So
You're better now.
I do have my son out of it.
Something to be said for that.
That
I have a daughter from a similar scenario.
So there we have.
Yeah, our lives are better, enriched,
Yes.
because of our children.
And we learned what not to do.
Yes, in a whole new way.
Yes. Yes. For one, keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
2, just say yes, dear.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, probably just don't even say anything.
Yeah, safer that way.
Yeah. If you're asked a question, try to ask another question.
Well, what do you think?
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? Does this dress make me look fat?
No, your fat makes you look fat.
No, that would be your face.
If you want to look thin, there are other ways to do that.
Yeah. There's just no safe way of saying that. So, selective deafness was my solution to questions like, does this make me look fat?
Huh? What? Did you say something?
That's my response.
Yep, there you go.
410 is National Cinnamon Crescent Roll Day.
Okay, I like cinnamon crescent rolls. I just do.
It's also the very first Arbor Day was on this date.
Oh, go hug a tree.
It's National Farm Animals Day.
You wouldn't think that farm animals would need their own day.
No, but I love the products that I eat from them.
Well, true.
Including
true.
them.
Those are some of my favorite products, in fact. Beef and chicken and eggs. And this craft fair that we did this weekend, somebody had made an egg container that said farm fresh butt nuggets. I almost got one. That's all I could
You
do.
should have at least taken the picture of the song. Okay, on the 10th in 1845, Erastus B. Bigelow patented a new loom to manufacture gingham cloth. Until then, all gingham was handmade. The classic red and white checkered restaurant tablecloth is an example of gingham cloth. Jethro Bodine also thanks you, Erastus, for his wardrobe. In 1849, Walter Hunt of New York patented the safety pin. However, safety pins existed prior to this patent.
So wonder what he did that made it better.
Patented it.
He just,
He said, is there a patent for that? And they're like, no. Here.
I'll do it. It's mine now.
Yep.
Well, opportunist.
In 1849, I'm pretty sure that happened a lot.
Might have, yeah.
The 11th is National Cheese Fondue Day.
Ooh, I haven't done that in a long time.
I hadn't either. It's also International Louis Louis Day because of the
Louis.
birthday of Louis Louis composer Richard Berry. The all-time party song that has been recorded more times than any other song in rock history.
Really? Mm-hmm. I thought it was The Long and Winding Road.
Actually, I thought it was yesterday. But,
We both thought it was a Beatles tune.
yeah.
But it's Louis Louis.
I can't tell you if I've ever heard a cover of Louis Louis, except if it was the original band that they did it from somebody else, from this Richard Berry writing it. I don't know. A company we talk about a lot on this program. I like calling it a program. On the 11th is in 1986, Kellogg's ended tours of its breakfast cereal plant for fear that industrial spies would obtain company secrets.
Oh, Lord.
In
well,
86.
they might have.
Yeah. This is a day that I'm sure you will hate. The 12th is National Licorice Day.
Yeah. I'm not going to celebrate National Licorice Day.
Instead, you can celebrate National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day.
I would be happy to do that. Happy to.
In 1837, William Procter and James Gamble started making soap and candles.
And changed the world.
Yeah, so now they own their company owns almost everything.
It's amazing.
In 1990, the 3 U.S. tuna canneries, Starkiss, Chicken of the Sea, and Bumblebee, announced their commitment to dolphin-safe tuna catching practices.
I remember that.
In
Only good-tasting tuna gets to be star-kissed.
Sorry, Charlie. 2001, Maryland banned the farming of genetically modified fish in any waters linked to other bodies of water.
So you can do it in a pond.
I guess so, but if it was fed from anything else, you couldn't do that.
Well, we are able to genetically modify plants and animals, but have we really asked the question, should we?
Oh, I think we've asked the question, and the answer is a resounding no. But the question next is, can we? And yes, we can.
Yeah, so let's do it!
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, all right, what is this really going to do?
You never know when you need that fifth leg on that lamb. You get the leg of lamb, you need the fifth one.
Yeah, it does actually, in that case, provide extra meat. Of course, the mutagenic flesh that you're consuming causes that third eye to pop out of your forehead. There you go.
Yeah. On the 13th, it's National Peach Cobbler Day.
Oh, I am all about the peach cobbler. Now, I will say that's probably my favorite cobbler. Peach cobbler.
I prefer like blackberry.
Oh, I love blackberry cobbler. Blueberry cobbler. I had some cherry cobbler last night. It was very tasty, but cherry's not my favorite. But peach, yeah, peach. You got me there.
In 1916, on the 13th, Funk Brothers Seed Company sold the first U.S. shipment of hybrid seed corn to Samuel Ramsey of Jacobsburg, Ohio.
Okay.
On the 14th, it's National Pecan Day. Remember, we had this discussion last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
In 1912, on the 14th, the British luxury liner Titanic struck an iceberg shortly before midnight. It sank at 2:20 a.m. on the 15th.
I'm the king of the world.
Yeah. Don't let go, Rose. Also, don't scoot over and let me up there too, Rose.
Yeah, it's not like there's not enough room for both, but I'll just stay here in the water and freeze. Rose.
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 All right, so that's your food holidays in history for this week, or as we like to call it, chuckling and rolling our eyes. Thank you, James Ehler at foodreference.com. The Man Who Ate to Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, and Apartment 5B. You can find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com.
And you should go find them now.
You should. We'd greatly appreciate it if you visited our sponsors, Delicio's Italian Restaurant at 301 Brookstown Avenue. It is the go-to Italian restaurant in town. Tony carefully prepares dishes from his native Napoli, and that's native Naples to us Americans. Hearty and delicate dishes that whisk you away to the eateries of southern Italy. They have a great beer and wine selection as well, and now they have ABC permits. I was in there last week, and they do indeed have shelves of liquor, and I like it.
And they're making some fun drinks.
They are making some fun drinks.
All right.
I didn't get to experiment with any of them that day, but I will go back for them. They're open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and Delicios.com. Washington Perk and Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. They have a chip wall, eggs, milk, and cheese from Homeland Creamery, Ashe County Cheese, a deli to make affordable and delicious sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches in the morning. A lot of other stuff. Wolfie's Custard, a beer and wine wall, condiments, toiletries, and more.
You just gave me like 200 reasons to go to Washington Park.
You only need one.
Just need one. Go.
It's because they're awesome. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, but not quite a grocery store. Again, they're located 301 West 4th Street. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk. On Instagram, they are Washington Perk _DTWS.
For downtown Winston-Salem.
Now,
I figured that out all by myself.
yes,
I'm brilliant that way.
you have keen powers of deduction.
Yes.
The Humblebee shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. However,
But wait, stop the press.
don't go there this week because she's a Viva Italia.
This would be the only time we would tell you not to go see Brittany.
Unless you take like sticky notes or something and post them on her door saying,
Yes.
I wish you were here because we want your delicious stuff or something like that. Leave her notes for when she comes back. She knows how much she was missed.
Honestly, yes. Everybody should go with a sticky note and put it on the door. Write something. Love you, miss you, put your name, take a picture of it, post it to Facebook so she can see it in Italy. Yes. Everybody should go do that.
Yes.
And then next Friday, the 19th, she'll be back.
And you should go then and just welcome her back with
The
open
line should
arms
wrap
and open
around the block.
Yes, open pocketbooks and open mouths because she's going to have delicious stuff.
Open bellies.
Humblebee Shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, or visit the Humblebee Shop.
SHOPPE.co.
Right.
Not com.
Not-
C-O.
Co. Keep an eye on this blog and this podcast, or an ear on the podcast, I guess, to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, please send us an email. Tim
Please do.
at themanwhoatetown.com. We've not heard from Stephen or John in a while, so you guys need to send us something.
We're hoping y'all are okay.
Yeah, hope everything's cool. You can just send us a question or comment or, I don't know, pictures of food even.
My grandmother once said to her children, my mom and my uncle, if you don't have anything else to write, just write P Turkey and send me a note.
Exactly.
So my uncle did that once. He sent her a letter and just said "P turkey." That's it. It's the only- So it stuck. It's a thing in my family. We say "P turkey."
If email is not your thing, send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We do that too.
We did unsubscribe from Smoke Signal, so stop trying to send it to us that way.
Right.
Thank you.
We kept getting wind, and we couldn't really tell what was going on.
And we had that one listener who kept trying to tell us stuff via smoke signals, but the wind kept messing it up. And no, I don't want you to do that with my underwear. Please.
Well,
that may not have been what they were trying
it only
to say.
took 3 buildings being burned down before someone said, maybe you should stop taking those. So we did. On Facebook, we are The Man Who Ate the Town. On Twitter, we are Man Who Number 8 the Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. My name is Tim,
My name's Ray.
and we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.